Okay guys, welcome to Cruise class. In this video we're going to be doing a follow-up to a previous video of how we factorize quadratic expressions. I'll leave the link to that video in the description below. Now in this example we're going to factorize 2x squared minus 7x plus 5. Alright, so let me get some space. So the first thing we're going to do once more is find 2 times 5, which is a times c. So 2 times 5 will give us 10. Now what we're going to do is try and find two numbers that if we were to multiply those two numbers we would get positive 10, but if we were to add those same two numbers we would get negative 7. Now what two numbers would that be? It would be negative 2 and negative 5. As you can see, negative 2 times negative 5 will give us positive 10. However, negative 2 plus negative 5 will give us negative 7. So we're going to rewrite negative 7x in terms of these two factors. So instead of saying negative 7, we're going to put negative 2 plus negative 5. Cool? As we can see here, we rewrote everything, 2x squared minus 2x minus 5x plus 5. And we're going to split it in two different brackets. Now here we'll see 2x squared minus 2x plus negative 5x plus 5. Now we're going to factor out the terms. The common term for this side would be 2 and x. So when we factor out 2x out of 2x squared, we're going to be left with x. Once more, if we factor out 2x out of 2x squared, we're going to be left with x. And if we factor out 2x out of negative 2x, we're going to be left with negative 1. Now in this case, it's a bit tricky. On this side, the common term is obviously 5. But if we were to factor out 5 out of negative 5x, we're going to be left with negative x. And if we factor out 5 out of positive 5, we're going to be left with positive 1. However, what we want is x minus 1. Or rather, x minus 1 as we see here. So how can we get it in x minus 1 instead of having negative x plus 1? We're going to have to factor out the negative as well out of this entire side. So factoring out the negative 5, we're going to be left with x. And factoring out negative 5 out of positive 5, we're going to be left with negative 1. As you can see, negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. And don't worry about this positive sign outside or this plus sign. Because when we factor out that negative 5, the negative times the positive will just supersede and be a negative as well. So negative times positive is negative. Remember that. So therefore, we will be having 2x open bracket x minus 1 minus 5 open bracket x minus 1. So now that we have a common x minus 1 here and a common x minus 1 here, we can then factor out x minus 1 on this side and we'll be left with 2x minus factor out x minus 1 on this side and we will be left with minus 5. So it's going to be 2x minus 5 as we see here multiplied by x minus 1. So this would be the complete factorized solution.